Thanks for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Kimani St. In the headlines, Dominica moves to assist Irma-stricken islands. Ministry of Education focused on quality education, and Caribbean Wellness Month to be observed with a social media campaign. Stay with us for details of these and other developing stories after this.
I believe in the natural order of things. I believe in the harmony of things. In everything we do, we have to keep it natural. I've been doing farming for now over a decade. My day is very hectic, but I make it light, because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy producing the best quality goods and to make sure that the people that receive it, they receive the best that they can ever get. Right from the farm, everything that I grow, I process them back into the farm so that the same things that grow in the farm is what protects the farm. Tourism is my business. It's not just dealing with the foreigners that come in, but it's preparing those things that when they come, they can feel and taste the difference in coming to this exotic island. And it starts with the farmer, because we provide the things that they eat, that they taste, that they drink. I believe in my heart that it's my responsibility to provide quality. My name is Tony Alves, and tourism is my business.
Thanks for staying with us. The Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit has described his first-hand view of the destruction in the British Virgin Islands as grave as he updated the nation on government's plan for the response to Hurricane Irma in the region. The nation's leader called a press conference on Monday where he described his experience as he joined Chairman of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States and St. Lucia's Prime Minister Alan Chastanet on a visit to the British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, St. Kitts and Antigua over the weekend.
The situation in BVI is grave. They suffered extensive damage. Literally every single home and business enterprise was affected in the entire BVI Islands, not only Tortola but all of the islands. As a matter of fact, up to yesterday afternoon, they had not been able to access Virgin Gorda. They were making attempts at the time to get a boat to take them across to see what would have happened in Virgin Gorda. Fortunately for them, the airport is functioning now. And also the seaport was opened, officially authorized to be opened yesterday. So they will start they can get supplies from ourselves in the Caribbean and also from Puerto Rico and elsewhere. So these are two good things that happen in there.
Honorable Skerrit says both during and after the storm, he has been communicating with governments and other official representatives of the affected countries.
Post the hurricane, we've been in contact with them. I have spoken directly to every single government leader in these countries, with the exception of St. Martin, but we have been in touch with the Dutch government and also the French government, because they have a tremendous role as dependent territories as small countries over the dependent territories of St. Martin, Dutch St. Martin and French St. Martin respectively. And I have now been in touch with the Prime Minister of Dutch St. Martin through an intermediary, and I'm expecting to speak to the Dutch Prime Minister, St. Martin Prime Minister this afternoon by telephone.
Honorable Skerrit also spoke with the Governor of St. Thomas and was updated on actions that will be taken to assist its citizens in response to this disaster. According to the nation's leader, about a third of the island of St. Kitts has no water or electricity. Although the Prime Minister did not visit worst-hit Barbuda, he says government has been able to evacuate all but 6 people to Antigua.
We have been able to provide the government of Antigua with some advice. As you know, we have similar experience with relocation of communities. They've asked me to send some of the information to them in writing, and I will hoping to do so during the course of the week and to assist them in how to what are the things to pay attention to. because it is not easy for people to leave their homes and to be living in shelters, and their way of life dramatically interrupted.
The Honorable Prime Minister says once he has been given the all clear, he will also visit the island of St. Martin. Honorable Skerrit estimates that there could be billions of dollars in damage in BVI. Anguilla also suffered extensive damage to its schools, hospitals and other infrastructure, and has lost electricity and access to pipe-borne water. Many Dominicans reside in these countries, and Honorable Skerrit believes the nation has a vested interest in helping with the rebuilding process.
I was able to meet with a large contingent of Dominicans to reassure them and also reassure the Anguillan people of our commitment to assisting Anguilla in its rebuilding efforts. Anguilla and the BVI have been exceptional to us as Dominicans, allowing our citizens to reside there and to create a life for themselves. And so we have a vested interest in the quick rebuilding of the BVI and Anguilla.
Meantime, Dominica is organizing a coordinated response to these countries, and while financial assistance will be given to those least affected, a joint committee of the private and the public sector, chaired by the Honorable Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, will coordinate Dominica's response to the Irma-stricken islands.
In respect to Antigua, we're making a direct financial contribution of $250,000 US to St. Kitts and Nevis, $500,000 EC dollars, to St. Thomas, $200,000 US, and to Cuba, who's been affected over the weekend, $250,000 US to assist these governments with their relief efforts and assisting the citizens who were affected by the tropical storm. With regards to St. Martin and BVI Anguilla, their urgent priority now, urgent need, as they've indicated to us, is in respect to water and supplies, and tarpaulins and stuff like that. So we are focusing on these three islands in respect to relief supplies.
Dominica is also working with CARICOM on the logistics to transport bulk water to the affected islands. Meantime, plans have been set afoot for Dominica to provide relief supplies to neighboring islands battered by Hurricane Irma. The Honorable Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, is chair of the Cabinet Committee and the chair of a joint private and public sector committee responding to Hurricane Irma. At a press conference on Monday, Honorable Blackmore confirmed that Dominica will focus on bringing relief supplies primarily to St. Martin, Anguilla and Tortola.
What is mostly needed now in terms of relief items, water and dry goods. We're moving with quick dispatch to starting tomorrow to transport 2 containers of dry goods and water. These are 20-foot containers to St. Martin and 1 20-foot container to Anguilla and Tortola. We're hoping to contract our boat owners from the second tongue of Portsmouth. Already, Greg Thomas, I want to commend him for his efforts so far, has established contact with the boat owners who actually all came to a meeting last week and demonstrated their commitment to assist.
Disaster management consultant Cecil Shillingford provided details on the relief supplies that will leave the island on Tuesday.
What we are doing right now is we are working with the private sector, with Dexia, so that we can move at least 4 containers of relief supplies and water to the islands of St. Martin. 2 containers, 1 water, 1 dried goods. Anguilla, 1 mixed with water and dry goods. And Tortola and the BVIs, 1 mix with water and dried goods. This is just the initial shipment. For that shipment, we are looking specifically at food ready to eat for the dried goods. So some of the things like ketchup and pepper and salt and so on. We're leaving that out just for the while, and as we move forward, we can move into these areas. Prime Minister also mentioned the badging of water. We think water is a very important thing at this point, both drinking water and water for sanitation and other things. So, as you heard, we'll be looking at the possibility of badging.
The goods put together by private companies will be taken to Dexia and transported to Portsmouth, from where they will be shipped using private boats. The government of Dominica will underwrite the cost of this relief effort. Individuals and organizations wanting to make donations will soon receive further details on how these efforts will be coordinated.
The government of Dominica Hurricane Irma Relief Fund, which has been established at the National Bank of Dominica. The account number is 615-000-493, 615-000-493, and we will send a special release to the media later so that they can push this number so everybody will know what the numbers are, the account number, so that they can make their contributions at the National Bank of Dominica.
You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
I believe in the natural order of things. I believe in the harmony of things. You know, in everything we do, we have to keep it natural. I've been doing farming for now over a decade. My day is very hectic, but I make it light. You know, because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy producing the best quality goods and to make sure that the people that receive it, they receive the best that they can ever get. Right from the farm, everything that I grow, I process them back into the farm so that the same things that grow in the farm is what protects the farm. Tourism is my business. You know, it's not just dealing with the foreigners that come in, but it's preparing those things that when they come, they can feel and taste the difference in coming to this exotic island. And it starts with the farmer, because we provide the things that they eat, that they taste, that they drink. I believe in my heart that it's my responsibility to provide quality. My name is Tony Alves, and tourism is my business.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Education intends to increase offerings for the Caribbean Vocational Qualification, CVQ, through its Technical Educational and Vocational Training Program. The CVQ qualifies skilled citizens with certificates that can afford them employment not only in Dominica but throughout the Caribbean region.
By the end of October this year, we will have about 40 teachers certified as assessors, a skill which is needed for them to deliver the program to their students. We will also see a partnership between the Dominica State College and the Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association to implement an aggressive training program in order to develop a pool of frontline employees for the hotel and restaurant sector. The Ministry of Education will also partner with the Ministry of Tourism and Urban Renewal to develop a CVQ tourism training program for that sector.
As the ministry focuses on quality instruction for effective learning in the classroom, the Honorable Minister informed that his ministry has partnered with the Dominica State College to train teachers. He says the Ministry of Education has the responsibility to staff schools with qualified teachers.
The Ministry of Education has collaborated with the Dominica State College to provide our graduate teachers who are without formal teacher training with the opportunity to enroll in a postgraduate diploma program and thereby become trained teachers. I'm pleased to announce that tuition has been waived for them, and we are really hoping that teachers within that grouping will enroll in the program within the next year or so.
The Honorable Minister indicated that other training options are also being explored for teachers, as teachers must be trained at a tertiary institution to be appointed. The Honorable Minister was speaking at the principals meeting for 2017-2018 academic year convened at the Fortune Hotel last Friday. In related news, Assistant Chief Education Officer Jeffrey Blaise has issued a call to principals to better use the skills and talents of teachers at their schools. Speaking at the Ministry of Education's principals meeting last week, Blaise noted that many teachers at schools are underutilized. He called on principals to create an environment that fosters motivation and appreciation of teachers, as well as to ensure that the competence of teachers are recognized and maximized.
We have a lot of competent and qualified teachers out there. And while we continue to develop our human resource in terms of the professional growth and development of our teachers, I recognize that there are many teachers whose skill sets and whose talents are underutilized within our schools. Principals conduct proper human resource inventories, ensure that we recognize the worth and the competence of our teachers, and ensure that in deployment we maximize the resources that are available to us at schools. In going to schools, we often see teachers with tremendous skills in particular areas are not utilized. And this year, I really want the supervisory and support staff to pay close eye to maximizing deployment of teachers, both at the primary and secondary schools, to ensure that the investment that government is making in professional growth and development is put to use within our school system.
He says while there is room for improvement, the last academic year was successful and praised principals for their work in assisting the ministry to achieve its goal of each child succeeds. And that's news. Coming up next, your tip of the day.
What's for dinner?
I know, but you want Cheryl.
Who? Cheryl? Oh, babes, that's nothing.
Nothing within there, but that is nothing.
Hon, come on.
Whatever.
You know you're my number one.
And she's number what, 10? Plenty married women get engaged from the husband these days. I don't want to be one of them. From now on, I'm looking out for me.
But babes, I only talk to the woman.
Until I'm certain this will take care of both of us, if you're lucky.
Your family depends on you. Don't take home aids.
With the news of one hurricane after another making its way through our region, most recently, many people are scrambling for shelter and safety or concerned about their loved ones in its path. Evacuations are taking place, and while everyone is rightfully focused on their physical safety, our emotional health is at risk during times of increased stress too. There are ways you can better cope emotionally with an impending hurricane to brace yourself emotionally from the significant amounts of stress you're about to endure. Here's one tip. Get the facts. Gather information that will help you accurately determine your risk so that you can take reasonable actions. Find a credible source you can trust, such as your local Met office or trusted local news source, and limit your exposure to news reports and social media images that focus on damage and destruction. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow us on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. Live streaming is also available on our YouTube channel 24 hours a day. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Kimani St. Thanks for watching.